Channel here over at Subscribestar, and I have a mailbox. You want to mail me some comics. So, what's going on with Disney? Well, they're raising prices. They're losing subs. Step three profit, and they're also cutting down on. They're going to stop the password sharing. And Bob Iger gave an interview the other day where he's talking about selling Fox and ABC and some of the other subsidiary companies. Which I don't know big business. Tell me if that's a power position to consolidate the company like that. I suspect not. So Disney Plus started at $7 so they could get people in the door. Of course, nobody expects them to maintain that forever. And nobody ever mentions just fixing the money system to stop inflation. It's like it's just accepted. It's never a thought except for Ron Paul. Anyway, so let's take a look at Disney as we enjoy the decline. They have ad-supported tiers and ad-free, but it turns out that the ad tiers do pretty well for them in terms of profit. So this what was this called? Nick Fury, Secret Invasion. Yeah, $200 million, and nobody watched it. So they're raising the ad-free tiers to $14, so doubling it since the beginning, and they're just going to obviously keep raising it. Hulu also is now $20, which makes you wonder, wait a minute, you pay for this convenience, and Disney does have a pretty respectable library of things that you can rent, but you can never own. And keep in mind, they digitally change movies all the time, because as we go further and further into this cultural Bolshevik revolution, more and more things are politically incorrect. So they just go back and change things. Like, God, that's kind of 1984. Yeah, yeah. So if you want to own things, you can just pay for a VPN for a year or two, get like 2 5 terabyte external hard drives. After a little while, you'll have everything you ever need of legal content. Don't swap me, bro. And I say this because nothing new is good. Even the psychological trick of fear of missing out is what they're hoping drives a lot of traffic. That doesn't work anymore when everything new past a certain date is garbage. But you're paying for these digital libraries and they have ads. Maybe you remember something called TV back in the. For those of you who remember, those of you who are over 40, remember the 80s? They had like 6 channels on TV. So the only thing I can imagine paying for now is an internet connection because TV and streaming. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. Every once in a while, I go online and I see what people are watching. I look for the top rated streaming and TV shows. I just did this last week and I watched 3 episodes of one of these shows. My disappointment in humanity is immeasurable. Wow, the stuff people watch is so it's a bunch of women running around complaining about menopause for every other episode. Oh my God, Nazi, just let people enjoy things. No. How about no? How about that's how we get to parents removing their kids' body parts. I think we need more people talking about the agenda that these people, these reptiles, are pushing. Which is funny because if you use a certain word like that in a title, YouTube will remove your video and say it was removed for a dangerous conspiracy theory, as I found out on another channel I had. So who knows how long this channel is going to be around. But I'm on Odyssey BitChute and we'll eventually start putting everything on Gab TV. Anyway, so Disney Plus has been dropping subs, which might just be part of the ebb and flow of streaming because people go from Amazon to Netflix depending on what's on, especially as they raise prices. You got to look for the stuff out there and how much you watch it and is it worth it. And after a while you go, well, it's rather save the money for the big screen releases and get the whole theater experience. None of it's worth it to me. I don't find myself interested in Hollywood at all anymore. And the thing is, it's kind of gone back to like once you kind of put on the They Live glasses, you look at older stuff, which that's probably going to be like a conspiracy theory dog whistle also. Which you look back at the older stuff and you can see the propaganda in it, and you're like, it's just kind of hard to watch. Anyway, so Disney, I mean, if you go back far enough, you go back to the black and white days, you're having a lot of fun. So Disney's a huge company, and it's hard to say how bad things are now because they have parks, 2 parks, and a cruise line, plus a huge library of old stuff that people are still attached to because the old stuff was a whole lot of fun. But now they put warnings in front of some of the old stuff. Like you could just not do. I mean, people are people this much of snowflakes that you need to. Yeah, what was it? Song of the South is their favorite movie. It's like, yeah, you could just release it. You don't need. People aren't this much of pussies. So, thing is, the old stuff is good. It's just the new stuff. Yeah, remake that movie. That is the horrible. The new Star Wars and Marvel streaming is not driving traffic. People think it's too woke. It's too diverse. It's too preachy, and it very much is. And lately, their big screen movies have fallen off a cliff. Disney used to be known as the hit maker, and people assume that when you own most of the rights to Marvel, except for maybe Spider-Man, a couple other minor characters, and Star Wars, your movies are of course going to be huge hits. I mean, the public, the name recognition for Star Wars, Marvel, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Disney in itself, that's just global domination. But Disney took this hard left wing turn. They got involved in Florida politics, and you're a media company, which used to be known in the '90s as a family friendly media company, and then you started changing that. You just don't need to get involved in this cultural Bolshevism. But they jumped into it. They absolutely jumped into it. And they're like, yeah, we're going to get involved in Florida. Oh, good luck with that. How's that park attendance? And surprisingly, it's actually down a little bit, as is the cruise lines too. So that's kind of weird. The thing is, everything has to be politically correct for them, but that's really boring. So if you see a Pox Walks character, they're going to be flat completely without any nuance or character development or a story arc from overcoming things and becoming a full fleshed out hero at the end. They go on the hero's journey. You can't do that with Pox characters because political correctness won't allow them to have initial flaws. And they are so the most interesting characters are the villains are of course all going to be blonde or red haired, but they're the most interesting characters because they can have depth to the characters, where if you're not blonde you can't have depth. You just have to be a generally positive character. What's my only flaw? I care too much about people. I just want to help people so much. Like, that sounds lighthearted and frivolous. The thing is, they're really heavy-handed with their treatment of these characters. From the Wakanda movie, they had Shuri be a super genius, which is fine, but then they had some condescending anti-white scenes, which is very much not fine. She was smarter than like the other two smartest scientists in the world, and she can be as smart as them. That's fine, but the way you build those characters is you have them all work together to accomplish their goal. They didn't do that. And when you tell an SJW that you don't have to dehumanize the fair characters to elevate others, they look at you with confusion because that's the whole point of them doing these stories. That's the only reason that they wanted. I want to write for Hollywood because I want to just spread this insane propaganda. Or comics, it's kind of the same thing. But they still have 46 million subs. But I assume it's probably because the old stuff is so powerful. So now they're raising the yearly fee to $140 a year, and they're ending password sharing. 140 is fine if you use it, and it's kind of your one service. But people used to have multiple services. People had all kind of like Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu, and Disney, and then there was the sports packages are really expensive. When the costs were $7 for a streaming program, you're gonna be able to have a bunch of them. But as you raise the cost, you're gonna lose some of those people. But the thing, Hollywood's business model now, at least with the big screen theaters, is as they raise prices, they get fewer people, but they still profit because the theater, the individual ticket price is going up so much. And now they have what do you call those? They got some 3D stuff. They have gimmicks like with the 3D stuff or with the chairs that like rock, and it's just stupid stuff. So it's probably going to work out for Disney, at least in the short term, because the ad revenue makes them money. But for the long term, they have a fundamental problem of woke shows. And Iger says that they're going to cut back on the new shows because they don't return investment. Like, not at all. The last Marvel, I don't know how Obi-Wan did. I did not see an episode of it. The last Marvel one cost $200 million with the snakes on the plane guy. I just looked at it. I already forgot the name of it. That's how forgettable all this crap is. Who does, he does the Brie Larson movies, but nobody watches it. Andor, the same thing happened. They go, this is the best Star Wars show that nobody's watching. Yeah, it's probably not the best. I've seen a few episodes of Andor. It's just the same old, hey, blonde people are bad, and the Bolshevik found family, just this diverse Bolshevik found family, are going to fight the English colonists. Yeah, your message is as subtle as a nitrogen burning tractor. Oh, no. The nuance. You have to like really look at the layers. I just explained it to you. The blonde man bad, English man bad. The colonization people is bad, and it's a Bolshe found family. Yeah, that's like half the stuff that comes out of movies and comics. You need to abandon your tribal family and join up with this diverse pox, walks, furry, other kin, found family. And actually, uniting with strangers who you have nothing in common with is going to form a stronger tribe than uniting with your actual tribe. And this is just like Frankfurt School, Saul Alinsky 101 type of stuff. Like even people don't know what those names are, which that's probably going to get you kicked off YouTube very shortly. The thing is, I have so many old videos where I say all these hot words that like I look at the channel, I just don't care. It's whatever. Oh no, you take the $100 a month. It's not the end of the world. They just repeat that theme over and over again. So even if you don't know those phrases, you're looking at these shows and you go like, that's weird that everyone bad is blonde. Even to the point of with Wonder Woman 84, where like you dyed a guy's hair blonde, so everyone knew he was either Trump or he was just blonde man bad in general. It's like, gosh, it's kind of heavy-handed whenever they do that to every effing character. I say this all the time. I know, but watch movies with that in mind, and advertisements. Oh my gosh, advertisements. I mean, the thing is, to see advertisements, you have to be watching shows, and I think more and more people are dipping out of shows. Because honestly, you can watch like a Geeks and Gamers. If you want pop culture, it's better to watch people talk about the pop culture than watch the actual stuff itself. Or if you're in the base community, you go on Odyssey and Rumble and Odyssey more so, and watch the live streaming community. There's a bunch of other streaming platforms too. There's just so many alternatives out there where you're in a community of a live stream's got like 100 to 1,000 people. It's this cool little community. There's all these little micro communities that are developing. It's nice because it's hashtag form militias, which you're also not going to be able to say that on YouTube too much longer. As opposed to everyone used to be on the same page. Like you go back to that what was it, Dallas or Dynasty or something, that showed that it was a nighttime soap opera during the 80s, I think, which was, I guess everyone was on board with it. Like who shot JR? It was all a dream. Like I never saw an episode, but I still know some of those scenes. The guy comes out of the shower and it's like everyone was on the same page with that kind of stuff. The culture was very tight. The pop culture was very tightly constrained, and it's different now, which is good because it's so decentralized that everyone's on these different pages, and you can go find the community that you're really interested in. But the string pullers, I probably can't say puppet masters too many times either. This streams had a lot of hot words in it. They don't want that. They want a centralized message going out to as many people as possible. And the thing is, whether it's Amazon, Netflix, Disney, Hulu, it's all the same message. But when you start getting it on these alt platforms, you're getting a different message. But every minute you're watching an Odyssey live stream is a minute you're not watching the mainstream propaganda, or even a channel like this or all these other channels. Like, it all adds up. Anyway, so the Acolyte is going to come out, and it costs $200 million. I promise you, nobody's going to watch the Acolyte. Disney just effed themselves. They had one chance when the Mando came out, 3 years ago? And then they decided to publicly sodomize Gina Carano and the audience. The Mando, I think, was their turning point. Like if someone writes a book about the failure of Disney 20 years from now, they're going to look back at that and go, yeah, that was kind of their one moment to get things back on track. And they just didn't do it. They doubled down. They fired her for her very innocuous social media post about we need to stop dehumanizing right-wing people like they've done prior to history. Is like I don't know if it's the Saul Alinsky method of singling people out and like assigning all the blame to everyone. All these Trump voters, everything is their fault. And like you look at the country now, it's like it's definitely not the Trump's voters' fault or Trump's fault. You guys are in power now. How are you enjoying that $5 gas if you're in California? Oh no, you understand the rate of inflation is down. Inflation's up, but the rate is down. They say, that's not what the store tells you. If you go to the store, that's not what the store says. So someone is lying. The store is not lying. They're charging what they're charging for, a thing of milk. I think the Biden press releases are lying. Anyway, so with Gina Carano, they hinted that she was Hugo Boss, and anyone who supports her is also. It's like, really, that is a all or nothing thinking. Is that really fair? Is that really a cogent, accurate assessment of the situation? Because she released a tweet saying, "Don't dehumanize right-wing people." Oh yeah, that's literally Hugo Boss. Oh, that's weird. I mean, it doesn't seem like. And if you support her, you're the same. You're marching around and Roman saluting, and if you're against like kids dancing around in dresses for the pleasure of men, then you're all the same. It's like, okay, challenge accepted. Anyway, not going to be long for this for the YouTube platform. Like, comment, subscribe. Join us over at Subscribe Star. Well, that's another streaming platform, but I mean, unfortunately, it's a paid one. But it's only $2 a month. And I will see you guys all next episode.